the middle of 2012, we were engaged by Sudbury Tourism to turn around and get into a sports booking and conference module. I'm not going to dwell too long on this. I just want to put it out on the table for all of you. And it was a fairly extensive project. It's still ongoing. But it's a very much higher level system. You know, typically we're all about the transient reservation right here, targeting transient consumers via hotel rooms and packages. The much larger opportunity might exist for a number of cities, which are maybe not true destinations. You know, is the Sudbury, not to take any offense, Niagara Falls? No, we're in a totally different market. But Sudbury is probably already ahead of Niagara Falls in terms of sports tourism. And virtually all the jurisdictions we work with are all engaging sports tourism officers, and they're going after these event dates, whether it's a single, like a road race where individuals are registering on their own, or they're large hockey tournaments, where you may end up having 200 tournaments over the course of 3 or 4 days. So what we did is we built a system which was, again, multi-level, and every point in that tournament process, whether it's an organizer or a sponsor of a tournament, the hotels which are supplying inventory to that tournament or to that specific road race or to a conference, the actual attendees making the reservations, and the coaches, or the club organizers for that matter, have access to the system. If the DMOs are looking to engage us, we've built the foundation for this. I'm not going to dwell too much into this right now, but the bottom line is after we really conclude the mobile roll-up throughout our DMOs, that's our #1 priority. Because that's something that I think has the greatest precedence right now. And again, we've taken all our resources from the development side. At any one given time, we have at least half our team working on mobile. But once that starts to wind down, we're comfortable where we are, we're going to start to switch back a lot of our development time back into this sports tourism, whereby you as a DMO can turn around and work with these organizations coming in. Now, I know in the past, some of the larger DMOs did have Passkey. And I know Maxine was using Passkey many, many years ago, Tourism Toronto, and a few others were actively engaged with conference bookings. We will have that module ready very, very shortly, whereby you can turn around and actively solicit tournaments, where the process is one where you're going to go out and get a request coming in from a tournament organizer. Once you validate that this is an event and you can host that event is now committed to your jurisdiction. You can go back to the hotel groups and automatically assign teams to specific hotels, or if it's an ongoing event and you're now taking over, you can load the maintain the relationships based upon each team to the specific hotel. Again, the coaches are given their own specific logins. They can see all their teammates' bookings. They can see that little Johnny's parents have not registered yet for a specific room type that's been allocated. Every person in that process, the team players, are given a unique URL to log into, the specific user ID and password, where they're going to see the rates that have been negotiated between the hotel and their team. What we really are is looking to take over that process. And how that really originated was, in many cases, the cities across Ontario, DMOs were at one time actively engaged in that sports tourism and then housing business, and they got out of that. Well, what came in place was the Hudson Travels, all these other third-party intermediary companies came into the foray and they took over that business. And of course, much like an OTA, it was a 15 to 20% commission. The hoteliers, sort of the backlash, and they chose not to do that. They didn't want to get out of that third-party arrangement. They asked the DMO to go back into the business and to provide a software platform so that all these tournament organizers could turn around and actually make reservations at these various functions throughout the industry and throughout the course of the year. So, again, I didn't want to dwell on this. I just wanted to put it on the table and say that this module will be in place. And it's something, once we're ready to debut it, post some test data into that, we'll be happy to show via webinars anyone who's more interested in getting into this. But it's something that I think you should consider. Where I think it has the greatest amount of value is once the system is up, it's running, it allows your organization, which has to go and bid on these various events throughout the country, to be able to convince the event organizers that you do have that housing solution in place. That's the key thing, is that it's not going to be a little bit of a free-for-all. Typically, in most small tournaments and whatnot, after tournaments brought to the city, it's been turned and proven that the hotels or the teams are actually finding their own accommodations. They're forced to contract directly with hotels. But in this case, you're giving them a much more of a structured system, a managed system, whereby each person is given guidance. If it was, for example, an event, a road race, much like a conference system, you're giving all the 500 or 1,000 attendees to a conference or to a road race a URL to log into, and any hotels which are participating in the housing solution, they've given specific dedicated rates. It's hidden away from the transient consumer. Those type of attendees will be able to make a reservation at this property or the property next door or the property behind.
So John, does that mean if we had an organization that's a big tournament, for example, from somebody organization, that I can set it up so that only the hotels that have contracted with that organization come up when the URL is entered?
Absolutely.
And then the teams pick which hotel they want to go to and then rate or?
If it's a team-based thing, usually that's already prearranged.
It would be individuals probably.
Yeah, individuals, it's just like a conference system. You give them the URL, give them the user ID, and then whatever contracted rates that you've gone and negotiated between yourself and the individual hotels will show up. The other hotels which are not participating will not show up in that list. It's hidden away from the public, so you're not getting the rating or parity issues. It's a specific corporate dedicated rate. Again, the difference between that type of event and a team-based event is usually the teams are already pre-allocated in the hotels. And the tools that we've built allow you as the DMO to turn around and specifically say, okay, here we go. Team A is at the Days Inn, Team B is at the Best Western, Team C is at the Comfort Inn. And then when they log in that URL, new user ID, they're going and they're seeing only the Comfort Inn rates for Team C. Now, the individual parents are making their reservations, they're putting their own credit card numbers. But what's nice about this is that the coach of that team has got a URL login. He can see the reports for his own specific team. So if you turn around and see that his star player is not getting registered, what's going on right here? He'll be calling the parents and finding out, are you still coming? What's the issue? Because the deadline is now. Into that, we've built release dates for the hotels. If you move up one level higher in the system, specifically for the tournaments, well, those guys want accountability. They want to have the rebates calculated to the tournament accordingly. So if every single attendee is booking through the system, you can produce a report at the end of the day. We as the DMO owe that hockey tournament $2,700 in rebates. You're not asking that tournament to go back to the individual hotels trying to collect that money. You're taking on a much more managerial role in that process.
How soon can I have that?
Yeah, well, you were actually, what we did before this, we had a series of roundtables. We did it in Sudbury, we did it in Kitchener as well. We had to feed that from all your organization. So we did have that roundtable. It's going to be completed within the next month or so. We're really working on very, very forcefully to get that one done as well. Will you have something big coming up very shortly? Is it the home hardware?
No, that's already happened. But it'll be back next year, and then there's another organization that is around this time of year, and they're, so I want to do it for them next year.
Yeah. Because the transient side of the business is very, very difficult. You know, we're competing against a lot of big entities, the OTAs. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of players in that area. Right here, this is an opportunity for the DMOs to actually do a little bit of cost recovery. When they're going down, again, this unique URL, which is hidden from the public, you can still append on any type of transaction fee to the player. If you want to charge them $1 for making a booking, great, you cover some fees there. But typically, that's always negotiated with that sponsor. And again, the reporting mechanism in behind there will show the sponsor this is what's owed to them.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
John, just on the business and the convention side, we were talking about the opportunity to connect to the value-added components of while you're in town, why don't you add a museum or a restaurant?
Yeah, based upon the event, we can add those in accordingly. So the majority of the work was actually done with Meridian's organization, Sudbury Tourism. And say, for example, they have this, what's the biggest tournament again there you have?
Well, one of the biggest that comes around is the Little Native Hockey League.
The Little Native Hockey League. It's like over 200 teams, right?
No, but it's big.
It's a large-scale tournament, but based upon the event, if that event organizer has gone out specifically and done a contractual deal with 4 attractions or 5 restaurants, after they've actually concluded the reservation portion, much as we showed you the mobile apps, they can be taken into a shopping cart and append all those other value-added mechanisms on top of that.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening carefully enough, but how does the customer, the coach, or the organizer make the initial group reservation? Is that done directly with the hotels, or is that?
Well, typically, if it's a tournament-based event, the sponsor, the person, in many cases they're volunteers, but the sponsor or the team, that tournament owner, would contract with the DMO and say, okay, we are going to bring this tournament here. We now have a list of specific teams. If it's an ongoing event, chances are 90% of those teams have already got relationships with existing hotels. The DMO in the back end is going to start assigning those teams to the already existing relationship. Team A has said, we've always stayed for the last 20 years in the company, we want to go back there. So you're not going to break that relationship. If, for example, you've got new teams coming, you're going to feel the price points. We can put you at the 4-star level, here's the rate, 3-star level, here's the rate, 2-star level, here's the rate. Then you're assigning the teams accordingly. Once the team has been assigned to the hotel, at that point you can distribute to the coaches, here is your login URL, here's your user ID, please pass that down to your individual team players. This is the negotiated rate that you're going to have. So the DMO does the management part on that, where the teams go. If you trusted the event organizer to do so, the tool, he can do that as well. The tools are on the back end. But that's something I think the DMO would probably want to keep in their back pocket, as opposed to letting that out with something. Because you end up having to train an event organizer. But again, what we learned in Sudbury is that all these 4 or 5 major tournaments, hockey tournaments, are all volunteer-based. It's the same people year after year after year. So once you've got them into the back end of the system, they're going to be doing it for infinitum. So they're used to that. But the underlying structure is it's multi-level. Again, the DMO, event, coach, group, hotel, and individual players. They're all logging in. We're all seeing the same reports. The DMO would see the entire tournament as well. They see all the reservations, all the activity, and they know exactly the economic report that they can hand back to their political leaders and say, concrete, this tournament brought in $235,000 in room nights, $50,000 in additional attraction bookings. And you can use a simple formula to multiply that up with food, beverage, and whatnot.
Does the setup for this have to mirror how our reservation system is based? So, for example, we own the transactions. Would we have to own the transactions?
Not necessarily, no. We do so many customized jobs. Based upon the gateway, we can turn off and change the gateway. So, say for example, Vancouver, or even RTO4, for example, the only time we charge a transaction there is for that experiential package. Every other booking, whether it's a room, a property level package, is actually paid at the hotel or the bed and breakfast, and so forth. So with this sports booking system, I would not own the transaction.
Yeah.
I would just turn around, let the guest pay right at the hotel directly. Don't get involved in the finances right there. Chances are you're not going to turn around and charge a commission for that anyways. Those are really net rates. This going to be subject to a different financial formula. It's part of a service, but you're, I think, more interested to be able to demonstrate, this is what we did. Yeah, well, that's the other side benefit. You do have the data. That's a legal binding thing between you and the event, not us, obviously. But obviously, the data is there, and to be able to validate, this is what this event meant to this community. And that's the kind of thing that we're always guessing at numbers. And what we've heard from the past, without that underlying infrastructure in place, events are not getting paid the rebates from the hotels. They're having to chase that. And all of a sudden the DMO, I know in some cases, has been thrown right in the middle. I know in a couple of cases where the DMO actually had to cough up a check to the event to cover those losses or to cover that fee, because that underlying reporting mechanism wasn't there. But that also does mean that when it's contractually committed for a road race or a sports tourism, for this thing to work, every single booking has to be recorded in the system. This is the gateway you have to go down.